Have so much fun stuff to talk about. As you know, virtual wholesaling is my game. I just got off day 4 of our real estate investing masterclass. So, excuse me for being just a minute or two late, having to get everything set up. But we are here. We are excited. I'm just. Jeez. Okay. Getting the group set up because I cannot see the comments that come through there. And let's just go ahead and start rocking this. Okay. Now that I can focus. All right. So if you're on, I would love for you to say hello. And if you're watching the replay, you can just go ahead and comment replay. But we are today talking about the thing that honestly a lot of people come to me for, which is virtual wholesaling. So not real estate. We're not going to talk about all 3 strategies today, but what I specialize in, which is virtual wholesaling. I've been doing it since end of 2015. I have done this and when I started, I lived in Fort Lauderdale. So I did this in Fort Lauderdale without ever seeing the home. I did this in St. Petersburg, Orlando, Chicago, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. My main market is St. Louis, Missouri. My second market is St. Pete, Tampa area. Okay. So I have done this kind of all over the place. And it's been such a fun experience. I help a lot of the students do this as well. And I have never seen a home. Now, I have if I've driven by it for a drive for dollars, because when I am in the areas that I invest, I do a drive for dollars. I'll spend all day going out. But as far as actually meeting with sellers and walking through homes and showing buyers and doing all of that, that's been done completely virtual. So if this is something that is really of interest with you, I would love for you to comment so I could kind of see where we are and what lands with you. What are your takeaways throughout this live? So let's really jump into it now. So the steps to getting into real estate investing, if you are brand new to the wholesaling or brand new to virtual, the biggest thing you need here is you do need to familiarize yourself with this area if you are not, and you need somebody there that will be your boots on the ground. Because if it's not you doing it, someone else has to be the one to do it, right? And so you want to make sure that you are there and you, not you're there, that you have someone there and you pay them well, because without them, your business doesn't run. And I once had a lady get upset with me because she's like, okay, you talk all this real estate and you do this virtually, but you didn't tell me how to pay people. And it's a kind of obvious. And I told her this really bluntly. I was like, it's kind of obvious. If you have people working for you, you need to pay them, but you also need to pay them well. And you would pay them on a sliding scale depending on how much they're doing for you. So when it comes to virtual wholesaling, those are the 2 recommendations there. Now let's kind of go into the steps of what it is, because people are like, that's great, but I don't know the next step of what I'm supposed to do depending on where I am in the process. So the very first thing that you want to do is location. Excuse me, getting over a cold. It doesn't matter which strategy you do, location matters. And a lot of the times it's not what's in your own backyard that works for you. It might be an hour away. It might be down the street, but in a place you don't really want to go to very often. It could be across the country, depending on where you are. So location matters first. Find that area first. Then step number 2 is your business entity. Why does this matter and why do you do it second? Now, I do have to give a legal disclaimer whenever I talk about business entities. This is from my own experience. I am not legally able to give you tax advice. You do need to talk to a CPA. Okay. But when I decided to do in St. Louis, I no longer could use my Florida LLC for an ongoing business that was in Missouri. Right. So I opened up my LLC there to do deals there. Then I had a Florida LLC to do deals in Florida. Okay. Makes sense? So for wholesaling, I have where I do deals. Now, if you do it every once in a while, not a big deal. Okay. And legally, just remember that. Okay. I've done the few deals that I did in other areas that weren't in the 2 states. I didn't open up a whole LLC. They were kind of one-offs, whether it was a lead that was given to me that fallen in my lap, stuff like that. Okay. Step number 3 is you want to find buyers in the area. Why do you want to do this? Because these are buyers that it will give you the confidence that you know what to buy. What are they looking for? Are they paying cash? What's going on in that area that you have narrowed down? so that you go after it. And I'll give you a real like case story of this, a case study of this. This was actually my deal. And it came to me, by one of my boots on the ground. So it came to me, and the owner was a single family in a row of multifamilies. Like the whole neighborhood was multifamilies. This is downtown St. Louis. If you know anything about it, you know there's a lot of multifamilies. So she came to me with the single family. I said I would take it on with the open-ended contingency because I knew that finding a buyer in a neighborhood full of single families or multifamilies is going to be rough. See where I'm going with this? And it did. It took me 6 months to close, to find a buyer. Mostly the buyer, it was a different issue. I had to get a new buyer and stuff. But what I'm saying is you want to be really careful and understand what sells and why it matters. So that's why we move buyers before you even talk to sellers. Now, a lot of the times they may not even like move forward with you and actually buy something. It's just to give you that confidence. I hope that this is landing. It's giving you maybe some good tips. We're quiet today, so I hope this is helping out. Then you will go into step number 4, which is finding seller leads. When you go to find seller leads, it's not just seller leads, but motivated seller leads. And I have done a lot of weeks on this, so you can go look on how to find motivated seller leads, or you can attend our upcoming workshop that's happening Wednesday on wholesaling. But we have you finding seller leads. That's step number 4. And you want to make sure they're motivated. And with inflation and everything going on, sellers are becoming more and more motivated, but they're still in old price points. But that is something we will talk Wednesday. Then we go into number 5, which is you start marketing and calling these sellers and reaching out to them. Okay. Reaching out to them, having conversations with them, and just what we call our acquisition process. So it's talking to them to acquire all the deals. Then, welcome, Laura. then we go into step number 6, which is negotiations. So you'll actually go into negotiations with and a contract with the seller. So you will sign a document. You will put your EMD down, earnest money deposit, and you will take that to the title company. Okay, with your EMD. After that, then this is when the fun happens. Because in wholesaling, you have to time the transaction. Well, your contingency, like mine, gives me 21 days to go find an end buyer. So after I get things under contract, then I will go get pictures of the property and do my own due diligence on this property. So I have my boots on the ground go over there. They have companies out there that will go and take pictures for you. But then also doing your own due diligence. Why do I do this after? Because so many people I see waste time running numbers. Another investor swoops in, right? Like running numbers, getting the pictures and all of that. Another investor swoops in with maybe a little bit of a sweeter deal, and you lose that deal. Or I see people run numbers before they've even made a call and the seller doesn't answer. Do you see how much time is wasted? Get on the phone, talk to them. You will eventually get really good at knowing what the houses go for in the area. Talk to them. We have like a script that's very, very thorough. Then we can estimate rehab costs right then and there and get back to them within an hour. Or sometimes, like some of my experienced investors will put them on hold, say, let me go talk to underwriting, see what I could do for you, and go run the numbers really quick. That is when you get really good at it, comping and all of that. And then they will go in with an offer. But obviously your contingencies protect you, that if you need to go back and renegotiate once you get in the home and the seller lied, which most do, about what their house looks like and what's going on, you can go back and renegotiate that price. After that, you turn around to step number 8, which is you market to the cash buyers. So then you start marketing to buyers. Now you can market to the ones we talked about in step 3, I think it was. You can market to them, but also I have a 10-step process where you go out there and you market this property like nobody's business. And you find buyers in that area that are buying cash that can close quick, cash or hard private money. Okay. Then we go under contract with the buyer. So you go under contract with the buyer, and then that contract and their EMD goes to the title company. You never touch or give money to anyone else but the title company. And then step number 10, which is my favorite part, is going to closing and cashing that check. Now, the average wholesale deal, if we're being very conservative, is $10K is what I see across the board. What I'm seeing within my students, though, it's like 25K, 35K. I've seen people make 50K. We had one of our coaches made 111K last year. So there's a lot of things here. Now, some of the challenges that I see, Laura, do you want to say anything before I go on about the 10 steps?
No, you're doing wonderful.
Okay, great.
Why am I
I didn't,
doing
huh?
that?
What'd you
Why am
say?
I here?
Because they want to see your face. uh, Awesome. So now some of the overcoming the common challenges. Now keep in mind we did put out a PDF that had all these steps for you that talks about how to overcome it, that gives you the solutions. The biggest thing I'm going to say is you need to be authentic. There is competition, okay? No matter where you are. But how do you separate yourself from it? One, collaborate, work together on some deals, wholesale, do what you have to do to break through in that market and be fair to everyone. Two, be authentic. Show up as you. Sellers will work with you because they like, know, and trust you. They will not maybe work with another investor because they're coming through shady. So as long as you are authentic and being who you are, finding deals remotely. So you don't always have to drive for dollars. You can start pulling different types of highly targeted lists that will help you move forward with that. Okay. And then understanding that there's market differences in that area and legal differences. Like if you're in a certain state, sometimes you need a attorney closing state. Sometimes you need attorney closing state. Sometimes you have to be licensed. Sometimes you just have to purchase a license, like you do with a fishing license to wholesale. There's different laws. Some you can double close, but you can't assign in some of the states. Some you can assign, but you can't double close. So there's a lot of different things, and you need to understand that. And I'm giving you that warning as somebody that's new. Now, I'm throwing a lot of information out today as far as wholesaling, but it's way more detailed in that PDF. Okay. And then also just remembering the biggest tip I can tell you when it comes to wholesaling is you have to be consistent and dedicated, meaning that you're not always going to be motivated. And I've been talking to my ladies in the masterclass this week, and the biggest fear is like, okay, this is great, but what happens like if I get all these no's? So I actually did a whole live on that, and I might bring it to our topic next week. But I talked to them on how to kind of reframe their mindset on dealing with sellers and how to stay motivated when the leads are constantly telling you no and stuff like that. But the biggest tip outside of the consistency and stuff is real estate is a numbers game. And if everyone could do it, everyone would be wealthy in real estate. You have to be able to deal with talking to a lot of people every day and putting yourself out there and putting out offers. It's not for everyone, but I'm telling you right now, if you're here listening, it's for you. It is for you. There's something in you that says you could do this or you want to be on the lives, right? So I agree 100% with what we've been talking about all week, which is consistency, dedication, and doing it in the numbers. And understanding that you may shift through some no's, but you will get the yeses, and they will be life changing for you and the seller that you work with. Laura, want to say anything else on that?
Oh no, yes, so much to say. Trying to see what's more relevant and I can keep it short. Um, One of the things I want to say is make it easy for yourself. You know, one of the things that I always say about real estate is almost make it like a game. Don't feel like it's a chore. Don't feel like it's hard, because if you feel that way, it's going to be that way. So,
Yes.
how can I make this a game? How can I make this exciting? How can I challenge myself that I'm going to do something that this week is going to bring in a contract? And to this day, I still do it that way. You know, if not, that to me, it would be boring, doesn't interest me. Okay. So, for example, how can I get leads the fastest and quickest way possible and make it easy for myself? Right? Okay, so now I got the property. How am I going to communicate to the seller that the seller is going to see how I see it? How am I going to explain to him and justify to him? How am I going to get him on board and understand what he's want to do out of this deal so I can make a win-win situation? Right? So all these things are something that you have to do it instead of thinking of it strictly as a business and I have to do this, I have to do that. Make it fun and be excited about it, because the energy you're going to put out there with the seller and doing this deal, It's going to come through the phone. It's going to come through when you meet people in person, and it's going to make this process so much easier.
Yep. I agree with that. And so what I tell people is wholesaling is not necessarily the easiest of the three strategies, but it is the one that can make you a lot of money pretty quickly. It is one that requires very low risk and liability, and it is one where you can learn all three parts of the business just by wholesaling. It's a lot easier to transfer into fix and flip and rentals when you have some wholesaling experience under your belt. And so you just learn so much about real estate, and that's what I love about this. I've been wholesaling solely we're going into 9 years this year. Yes, rentals is on the radar. I've definitely talked about getting into them and actually actively looked. But right now, I like the low risk and liability of wholesaling. I like that I'm not worrying about tenants. I like that I'm not worrying about rents. I like that I'm not worried about market changes. And so for me right now, where I am in life, I like to do this. Now, Laura is that she likes the wholesale too, but she's like, I like more of a passive income and I like things coming in and stuff like that. And she's doing high end luxury flips and stuff like all that. So you can see the difference here of where it just really depends where you are in life as well. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to go into our raffle, and then if you guys have any questions about virtual wholesaling, we can talk about that. But I wanted to just kind of share, nope, not that one. Okay, well, what do I like here? We're trying to figure this out. It's not working. Okay, there we go. Okay. I know, I had to go through a few. So how you get entered into our giveaway is you join our Facebook group and you just interact and build a community within there. We take the top 3 interactors of the week, spin a wheel, and you get entered. You have 1 week to claim. So what this lovely winner is going to win this week, we try to keep in theme with what we're doing, is that we will give you wholesaling one-on-one training with PDFs, and it comes with a training video. And then we will also do 100 free leads in the area of your choice, meaning that we can't guarantee the results, but we will use what we use to pull list, and we will send you 100 free leads in the area of your choice. So this is actually really good. Like, this is a good PDF or a good raffle. So I hope you guys are excited for this. And our winner is Tracy Parker Stevens. So Tracy, congratulations. You have 1 week to email into questions@realestateinvestingwomen.com and be able to claim your prize. Okay, Laura, you're blurry. I don't know if it's blurry for everyone else, but you're blurry for me. Awesome. Okay. All right. Congratulations to everyone. Trying to see if any questions are here.
Well, I want to make a comment. I see one of the chat, but I don't see her name. I just see the thing. She says, I have 3 houses in the community, and what should I do? And I always say, it's like some of the movies, guys. I'm sure you've seen some of the movies where they happen to drive down the neighborhood and they see a house that they like, and they get out of the car and walk up to the front door and talk to the owner, and next thing you know, they own the house. So that's the type of thing that you have to have, kind of that curiosity, which for women comes pretty normal, right? We're always looking at pretty homes. We're always looking at ugly homes. We're always looking out for other people, what they do with their yards. So the thing is, just go talk to them, say, hey, I came across your house, and and if the house needs work, say, I just wanted to know what you plan to do with the house. I live here in the community, and I'm always looking, for our homes because I love it here. And see what they say. If it's a vacant home, maybe find them the phone, or if there's a tenant in there, say, is there a way I can talk to whoever owns the house? I love this area, and I live in the community. So make it kind of fun, a game, right? Kind of normal curiosity. If you had this house because you wanted to buy for yourself, what would you do, right? You would do whatever it would take to talk to whoever owned the house and see if something you can do about it. So keep it that simple. Keep it very straightforward.
So speaking of wholesaling, I know a lot of people may not even know what questions to ask just yet. So we are oh my gosh, this cough. We are doing an in-depth workshop on this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. on wholesaling. So we're going to go way deeper than we were able to today, but we're going to go way deeper, have a Q&A, share PDFs, and really help you guys get set up on how to find the best deals and where to find them right now. This is the most important part, but also how to get them sold in today's market, different offers that we're doing, but also strategies that weren't even here even a year ago, really not on the massive scale it is now, of how we're offering to get deals closed on a bigger level. So we're going to be talking all about that here in the link in the chat, where you can get on and be able to ask any and all questions when it comes to wholesaling. I will actually teach you how I've delegated it out. Some of you have seen this, which is really cool. I teach you how I delegated it out to get down to 2 to 5 hours, depending on the week, on my wholesaling business, so that I am able to focus on other things. Laura, same thing. I helped her. She was doing it virtual, but like old school virtual. I helped her bring it technologically virtual. And so we talk about that. And then, of course, you get the knowledge of almost 4 decades of experience. So super excited about that. Laura, any other questions or comments, concerns?
No, like I said, we're going to cover more in depth, because obviously the mechanics of wholesaling, but also where you're going to get leads at the end of the day. Like, we have 2 ways of finding leads. We have the quick way and we have the regular way. So how many of you would like to know the quick way, right? So that's a good way to talk about. We're going to talk about getting buyers. We're talking about a lot of the mechanics of wholesaling. So this workshop here is going to be phenomenal. It's going to come up here next week. It's actually one of our most popular ones. And we're going to invite only certain groups to this one, just because we had such a large crowds coming in that we decided we like smaller crowds. And so that's why we're going to selectively post this. So go ahead and register. It's free, guys. There's no payment there. It's free. And then, and why would we do it free? Well, first of all, we love to share the information. And second of all, we are building up a community of women that are really helping each other and paying it forward. And so we will invite you to be part of the community at the workshop. So with that said, that's all I have to say today.
Well, I hope today was great for you. If you need the PDF, just comment, I need the PDF. That way you can get more in depth of like the solutions we offer and everything like that. It's written out for you. But other than that, we will see you guys Wednesday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.